Today I will try to focus on some projects, but I want to say to you, from where I come, you may call what I will show you inspiration, or how people try to deal with the minimum that I have. Due to the lack, or due to material fullness, people are very creative in a very different way. And for me, this is always a source of inspiration. So this picture shows you if you are living in Burkina Faso, in a city, and you want to go to visit relatives, you have to be creative like this guy is doing, because you will not have a car, and there is no public transportation. This is transportation in Burkina Faso. Goods, people, animals, and even people are being transported like this. And you don't need to wait long if you go through the street in Burkina Faso to meet very creative way of dealing with life like this. I don't know if we could do this in Milan. I was thinking maybe in Berlin, not, for sure not. What you can see is something that I can call for me inspiration. This is tectonic par excellence. This is a lady selling peanuts. Even peanuts, even selling peanuts push people to be creative, because most of the time you never buy a lot. You just buy for a penny. And with the one hand, in this side, the lady is taking the peanut out, but they don't fall down. So because she used to. And I can call this like how people deal with the minimum they have, how creative people are instead of complaining. Look at this gentleman. He's a shoe seller. So he just put it and go until the next lady arrive and want to have a shoe. Maybe here down. He has to put it down again. They will bargain. Sometimes it works, sometimes not. And he has to put a package again and just go his way, asking for a cigarette, lighting it, and feeling cool. So this is how people really live in Burkina Faso, with the minimum they have without complaining. Myself, I had a chance to attend education, so sometimes I'm asking myself, what would these people do if they have my chance, if they have your chance to attend education with their creativity? So me, I had the chance to attend education in a classroom like this one, and I sat in the class with more than 150 kids. So, doing so, I had the chance to attend higher education in Germany. And for sure, I discovered someone like Miss van der Rohe doing very simple and very nice building, modest. So I love things like that. I also admire people, or I have the chance to discover a great architect. This is just one example. And most of the time, I name died architect. Is better, because we have plenty of living architect. Someone may complain why I don't like his work. But Louis Kahn is for me a big example, because the way he deals in regions that are really far from developed with the material, with the basic material. He has been someone that has been inspiring me for a long time. Of course, Africa again is a big inspiration for me. This is a very ancient building in Timbuktu. And what inspired me the most is how people just come together to build, to create a structure. So this is fascinating. Again, labor, the power of human, how human come together to create a structure is fascinating. So inspired by all of these things, and by one thing, rebars. I created this school with my community in Gando, my very first school, and I built it as a student. I mean, I studied in Germany, and after 3 years, it was boring for me to keep studying. Because at that time, I was thinking, my goodness, you know how to draw, you know how to put bricks together, and something like engineering a little bit. TU Berlin is something like polytechnical here. So you learn a lot. And for me, it was enough to stop studying and go back home and try to work with my people. I just wanted to build a school in my village. That's why I just stopped to study. And that is the result out of it. It was a big success, and we was able to do many, many other projects. The very important thing in this project here is that we use clay, really locally available clay, to build the walls, and then rebars to build the roof. And inside, we created a sort of comfort, dealing with natural ventilation, and then through big openings and a ceiling, massive ceiling with little tiny openings. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Milan. Milan is for me like a capital of the world, because if you go through your roads, if you see everything that have been done here by architect, thinker, designer, you can be jealous if you came from my area. Here, you start to design, and if you finish, you will have skilled people with quality, engineer, everyone that help you to get it, to help build it. Where I'm coming from, this is still a big dream. If you want to succeed, if you want to make the difference doing architecture, you have to start by drawing. All of the time, if I draw a building, even with my team now in Berlin, a section is already enough. Sometime with a section, I go to Gando, and we just build a building, like you can see. It's so simple, simply because how do you explain to people who are neither able to read nor write engineering, architecture, and plans? So you have to find another way to do it. And so that's why I'm making very simple drawing, just to come with a simple idea that works. And there's a building. So this is the section of it, and that is the building. If you go through the entire building, you have the same section. Again, roof structure made out of rebars. So today I will concentrate myself on one project that I have been doing, because all the time, if I'm speaking, I'm reporting what I'm doing on the site. This is a high school. We've been working for that building for 2 years, meaning for me that I have to be at least 2 times a month on the building site to push my people, to change details, because sometimes we don't have that much plan. So here is the site. The city is called Kudugu. I was sent by good friends to check if we can build on the site. And it is Africa. You arrive in a place, and you were supposed to meet someone that is supposed to be the partner of the client. So they took me, brought me to a big tree, a karité tree. So before I look at, there was more than 20 people. 1 hour later was like 100 people with chicken as present for a big guest, who I was. I checked the site, was awful, because people just take the clay and everything was like excavated. It was not a good site to do a project. But I had been corrupted by the sympathy of the people that came to prove me there was a need. I couldn't say to the client, who was based in Munich, that the site is not a good site. So I just say, okay, it's a very good site and there is a need for a high school, let's go. So my struggle started. So I still work like every one of you here in the office. I'm skilled, I can do computer drawings. Today, I don't need to do all of that by myself. I have great people. Today, I'm happy to have 2 here. I mean, Nina and Johanna are here in the group. They help me to do all of these stuff. But always, if you start a project, even in Africa, it starts with a vision. My drawing has improved, but if you go through the section, you will see they're always very simple. This is a dream to create a compound, a courtyard. Most of the time, if in my office, my people finish some drawing, they're wondering why I'm not happy. In specific for Africa, because now it's another struggle. Another way to draw, again, in the soil, on the sun, to explain to people what we want to do, again, to try the material until you have a project done. So the renderings are good, the plans are good, but you will not get a project be done in Africa, in my place, in Burkina Faso. So this is a dream, a very nice compound. Everyone is excited. We have plans, like you can see, very simple plan with an idea of having different layers. So I don't need to explain you this because you understood them very well. Like to have a model, a classroom that will work. Simply explain, you have a box, this is the classroom, and here in this project we wanted to add something new. That is what I'm always trying to do. If you happen to invite me for dinner, don't give me the same meal 2 times. I will not come the next time. So I don't eat the same thing twice or something. So even if it's the same, put a little bit more element in. So that's what I'm doing with my architecture. Here is a wind tower, just to improve. And this is supposed to be a library with a little idea to get the hot air come out of the building. Here in this room for the moment, I will put more heating, so it will not be the same, but however. So with sections, and here you really can see what we want to do. From the classroom, the air should go through the tower and cool the classroom. Another better section. So this is the idea. Always a dream. And then, as I told you, we can draw very nicely. And this is a challenge. It's a roof structure entirely supposed to be built with rebars. 16 millimeter thin rebar. That is what you can see there. And this is a part of the site. And then we discuss, we meet the people, and I start to talk with the people with the first plan, what we want to do. And as soon everyone agree, I see myself taking the leadership, even organizing the people, the worker, and everything. So talking is one important part of the project. You have to convince the people. Here is Marta Migliorini. I was happy to meet this lady from Italy that joined us for this project. She is an engineer and was happy to help me, and I was very, very happy. Finally, someone that could read plan and go and check internet and to plot a document is like, wow, if you win a lottery. And always happy, making everyone happy, always getting asked for marriage, and I always say, please wait, let her finish the project and you can marry her. So, in this project, we wanted to use laterite. Laterite is a miraculous stone. It is soft. If you get it out, you have to dig it. If you get it out with the contact of the air, it's getting harder. There's a lot of mystery in Africa. This one is a fantastic material. We wanted to just show how we can use this material in a modern building. And so we start to cut this material with machine that had to buy almost at the beginning every month a new machine. So because the worker, they're not used to. If you say to them, cut very slow, because the engine has, you have to learn how to work with it. So they want to make more stone to make Francis happy. So by the way, they killed the next machine, and we had to buy, even in the office, everyone knows that we have to package a next engine for Francis, who will take it in the aircraft. Another thing is, how you deal with engine is one thing, but another one is really engineering. If you explain to my people, it's gonna work, they don't believe you. Today, they believe Francis, but maybe not you. How I did it to get accepted, to get them believe in me, I was always making mock-up like this one by one, and then I'm tired to jump over this stuff. But the one in the middle with the cape is me. Normally I jump on the top, and then my people joined me one by one. And then something that you really cannot see is this guy, but you can assume here you have the entire village waiting and watching, very critically. There is no building regulation in Gando, but the people are the regulation. If you do one mistake, if this crash, they won't believe you. And so I have to find all the time ways to just get this thing work. If it has to stand, I have to put energy to get it. And then all the time we will test. So you will see in the project that I'm showing you how we keep doing these tests. And then we started on the site to explore, and the population started to watch, waiting for a result. People generally in Burkina Faso are enthusiastic, very curious, very interested, really. This alone gives you energy. You understand? It will not be like a Milan. You have seen everything, you understand. But there, sometime a school building, a little building like I'm doing, I will show you, can change life for people. It's like a theater for 2 years. So, some detail for later, for those that want to be interested in details. I have understood this as a conference where you show details, so that's why I'm a little struggling. But you will see we're using not simply bricks, we're using reinforcement concrete beams inside the massive walls that you can see in the corner, just to hold the structure, and later on to fix our roof within the basement. So it won't fly, like you can see. And so we start to build, cutting the laterite, like you can see. And then sometime I move back to Berlin, struggling with my team for the next project, or enjoying the next project, however, or I'm going back to enjoy the result, what the people have achieved. The walls really grows, like you can see. And it's come time to put the ring beams. Again, we use concrete too. And the most difficult or time-consuming is the roof structure. In Burkina Faso, in every city, people can do welding. It's the easiest connection that you have in Burkina Faso. If you're looking for carpenter, you won't find, because there is no wood in Burkina. The wood that we have in Burkina is coming from Ghana and the Ivory Coast. Carpentry is there, but is not good to put in a building. But welding is something that almost everyone can in Burkina. So what I'm doing is to use these skills, this talent, and create something that is modern. Like you can see, a structure like this, and then sometimes they work night and day to get a structure finished like this. Looks simple. It's very 16 millimeter rebar. And so the building grow. As you can see, clouds are coming, the season is changing, and we keep pushing. And as I told you, they love to try because I teach them to try. Sometimes it looks very dangerous, but it works. And it's creating fascination. People just come and start to look. So it's like building New York at that time. That is it, today, even today. And so with this material we have overhanging roof that goes 7 to 10 meters sometime, made on site by people that are mostly myself, not trained but directed, you know, to do. This project has a big challenge. The client wanted to open the first classes 6 months after we start the building process. So it has been a very collaborative project, even with the teachers. So while we keep building and doing the other walls, we had to cover the roof. And so we had to work in parallel. So you cannot hire a company and just let them do. If you do so, in Burkina, you will not make the difference. They will always come back to that what they used to do. That are what I'm often called cheap copy from the West, most of the time. That is it, how we just cover the roof. If you see, it is a rainy season, everything is almost green. We keep building. And so it came time to do a ceiling inside. We started to do it, like you can see. It is a gypsum with straw, with many, many things. So it's several layers that you cannot see. But we was able to just make it modular, like you will do even here in Milan, but à la Gando, à la Kudugu, you know, à la Francis. So I tell you, class has started. And the team just celebrate the first success. And they started to, they don't just work, they enjoy. Here we had to play against the teacher team now that was new. This is a part of my team. You can't guess who is the winner all the time. It's my team, of course. That was winning. And then after enjoying a shocker tour, you go back to work. Here we want to create a facade, but we want to create sittings. So the idea that I have is not to let them do it like they do in the past, or a cheap element from the West, or nowadays from China. I don't say that China is producing cheap materials. Depending on how you can buy in China, that will produce your quality. But what we can buy from Burkina is very, very cheap. Plastic that end up after 2 weeks, 2 months, it breaks. I wanted to use, again, what we have the most to create something, you know, adapted. So a window for me and my team now in Berlin is not just a window. It is an element, a ventilation element, like you can see on the knee. It is also a sitting element that you can see later. And sometimes this is not enough for me. In the break, when it's 12 or 1 o'clock, my people just start to sleep. They know how to rest. Really, they take their time out. And me, train and grow, I think professionally in Germany, I start to become a little bit westernized. I keep working. And what I do in the break time is to design. Here, I start to design other furniture using rebars again, and that is the result of it. A chair, a table, and to have some people of my office, they can confirm you that this furniture that we see is now in the permanent collection of Philadelphia Museum of Modern Art. So simple things that you could do can have higher value. So they just bend them really on the building site. You can see, collect them, connecting, and that is it. So we don't just do one thing. That's why I will say, wow, what can you say today? Normally I do a journey about what I'm doing. So, but this is made out of rebar. Sometimes we buy other material to mix, but it's just the material that we use to build the building itself, that we use to create this sitting element. And everyone is happy, as you can see, with it. So, last 3 weeks ago, I had the chance to have my good friend Ivan Ban to visit again Burkina, and he came out with this shot that I will share with you for the first time, no, for the second time. So, so this is the compound that we have been building for 24 months. Again, to create the facade, again, we use rebars. You can see it. Can you see it? Do you know that it's rebars? You see the sticks? So we just put the element, the wooden element against the facade. The wooden element was cut 100 meters, no, more, maximum 1 kilometer far from the site. And then put together, they just fix them like you can see, with a flat metal on site, and then you create a facade. Very simple. And the users are really, really happy about it. We are not just building ourselves there, we have become a company. We have become a community. We have become an NGO. I don't know what we are, but we do everything ourselves. Yeah. So it looks small, but it's like for this region is one of the biggest and well-working structure that was built up with material. Okay, cement is coming from the city itself, but was built with locally available material. And the user are using every corner of the building. Every corner. So they use it as a playground, theater, restaurant, even the teacher. I don't know what this couple is doing. I think even just try to work with them, and they don't look natural, but they're supposed to sit naturally and relaxed. And the classrooms are well ventilated. The tower is working very nicely, really. I was there. If you stand under this, you feel the air sucking you, you know? You feel like you're gonna fly. And this is a great feeling because there is no aircon inside. And this is so important for a country like Burkina Faso, which, according to the World Bank, is one of the poorest countries. If you could use the most available material and with smart ideas, create space where teaching and learning are easy, you understand? So, I said to Luis a couple of minutes before, I just use this opportunity to just show you what is next. Here is next project that I'm working with my office. 2014, there was a revolution in Burkina Faso. First there was Ebola. Normally, in December, I go with my student to Burkina, and we just design. We arrive the day, and we start to design. We don't go with finished plan, so we just do a workshop, a very engaging workshop. And then was Ebola. Everyone was feared to send your kids. Myself, I didn't want to take the responsibility to bring European to Africa at that time, so we postponed it. But then the revolution came, postponing again my workshop. And then, I'm lucky, suddenly there was a revolt that took over the Parliament House and burned it down. And so when I talk about it to Aravena, he just said, why you don't show these at the Biennale? And we was in the office very excited. Wow, we're gonna build a big mock-up of our Parliament House. And then I spent time building other structure in Africa. By the time that I realized you have to find a sponsor to give you money to do this thing at the Biennale, I forget that you needed a lot of money. There was no sponsor available. So we just reduced our participation to a collage. And that's what we did at the Biennale. And I keep talking to the government that pushed me to design, to just go with the design, and how I just design. So in Africa, as shown, I remember, the very first structure is a tree. The very first meeting point is a tree. Sometime in French language, we call it arbre à palabre. This is where everyone met. The tree in my culture is the first building, is the first school, is the first everything, is the first meeting space. So I was saying to myself, why you don't get inspired by this and just put it in the Parliament House if you spend time criticizing your society that is just copying the West? So that was the idea. And the idea is not to build a tree, you understand, but to be inspired and create something where you can just see underneath that we wanted to reflect a modern House of Parliament and then a garden connected to it, just to, for me, architecture plays with ventilation. You could see like a source of fresh air. But this connotation, this connection is so fundamental for me because I'm still sure that we are copying in a very wrong way even your way of democracy. Even the revolution for the moment, I have adapted that it will bring a big, big change. But with architecture, we are free. You can do a lot. Here is an example how we work with it, and we keep pushing it. That is the dream that we had, create a big, big public space. There is not a single space in this big capital where people just go and take pictures after wedding, after celebration. And I wanted them to go there and do that with the idea, if you just let people take over the building, by the next revolution, what I will do, they will not burn it down. You know, they will just kick maybe the representative out, but they will save the building. That is one idea. And why you don't connect something that is connected to the country? Agriculture. We don't want to do green garden. Here, you could do it. Green roofs is important for the climate. Greetings to the Bosca Verticale. My Bosca Verticale in Burkina Faso will be agriculture field on the top of the roof of the Parliament House. And that is the idea that we have. We want every region in the country to come and have a plot of land on the top of the roof of the Parliament and show how they grow their corn. So that is what I'm calling adapted to the need of the country. So that is it. So what we had in mind, and another trick, still now I was able to convince creating schools, little libraries, nurseries and everything. So how do you really push convincing these people that you're gonna be able to do it? Look at what I'm trying to do in this picture. You see close to? If you look at this picture, you know probably this guy. You know him? He's Obama. So I was shaking him the hand, and I had Andrea in my office, has the creative idea to just cut me out and put the president of the parliament. So it may convince him to let me build, maybe one day he will shake the hand of Obama. That was our ideas. So we have to find a way to convince these people to give more power to our ideas, because till now, the dream is to make cheap copy of what you have. And that is a big problem. So very quick, here we're supposed to show you what we're doing to earn money to keep doing our work in Africa. And in Africa, you can't do a lot. What we're doing, what we're gaining, financial resources not, but we're gaining that. We get a lot from the people. What we want more resources from the West to go and just keep building until we are able to compete with Bosca Verticale. Until that time, we're doing a lot of installation. This is our latest in Philadelphia. So again, to show you about material. So we consider every single element, every single piece that we can find as a building material. Here you have like cord. And look at what we was able to do with that. We just created space, putting cord together, color by color, and to create that so-called collage shape. What I wanted to end up was with the dancing lady that just created dress and stand there and just start to dress. That is what you can do, what you can give to people with our job. Thank you very much.